My name is Sheri Floyd. I'm the lead diver slash biologist slash wet zookeeper at the New England Aquarium. I'm going to talk about two of our co-op positions. One is with the penguin exhibit and the other one is with our giant ocean tank exhibit. After I give you sort of a brief overview, I'm going to let Jason, our current co-op student, who's also done a co-op before the giant ocean tank in the penguin exhibit. And I'm going to have him come up and tell you the actual truth about the position. Basically, it's a wet job. We're looking for folks that are physically fit. You pretty much hit the ground running in the morning. You're in for both positions, you're in a wetsuit pretty much all day long. For the penguin position, you are not required to have a scuba license. For the dive position, obviously, you are required to have a scuba license. So I would recommend to people that think they might be interested in this job to think about getting scuba certified now. One of our requirements is you need to be scuba certified before you actually apply for the position. You can't come to the interview with the intention of eventually getting scuba certified for the co-op position. So it's something you definitely want to start thinking about now. And I'm going to move on to my area, the giant ocean tank. This is again a position that requires a dive certification. Like the penguin, it's a lot of physical work. It's a lot more. If you're not behind the scenes working, you're underwater, so it's not as much in the public eye as the penguin position is. But there certainly is some public interaction. I should mention, for both positions, we are looking for folks that are comfortable interacting with the public. With the penguin position, you actually have to do formal on-mic presentations. With the giant ocean tank, it's much more informal. You just have some very, very sort of fun interactions with kids and families on the dive platform before you actually get into the exhibit. Once you're underwater, you're just with the animals, and that's the beauty of it. I've been there for almost 17 years now, and the novelty is still not worn off. People ask me, aren't you bored going to the same exhibit every day? No, because I never know what I'm going to find in terms of new animals. Where are they? How are they doing? What kind of reproductive behavior am I seeing? Is Myrtle going to drive me crazy today? Are the sharks going to offer a really exciting adrenaline rush type feeding? So it never gets boring in the giant ocean tank, and I think Jason will actually agree with that. It consists of a lot of diving, and most of that diving is done by the co-op student. The co-op student is the only individual other than the permanent staff that does all 5 feedings, and that means everything from cute little trunk fish right up to big 10-foot, 300-pound snappy sand tiger shark feedings. Don't worry, we're not going to throw you in the water with a shark stick and say go for it. It's very much a process. Most folks don't start feeding sharks until they've been there for about 3 months, and it's a very, very gradual thing where it's a combination of our opinion as to where you are with your training and how you feel about it. And when we get close to 3 months, I'll say, so okay, I want you to start really watching while we're feeding the sharks, and I sometimes will say to a co-op student, do you feel like you're ready? And they might say, I just want another couple of weeks. Or they might be chomping at the bit, and I might say, I want you to watch a little bit more. So it's really a combination of the co-op student and the staff making that decision when you're ready to move into more sophisticated feedings. Pretty much right away with the co-op, you're offering food to some of the less sophisticated or less challenging feedings. Sometimes it's the first day that you get in the water, we're going to put a block of what we call zooplankton in your hand, and you're going to just swim around with that. And then you just gradually work up to things that are more challenging, like the sea turtles, the moray eels, and the sharks. Sharks obviously being the last. It is a very, very exciting job. I can't tell you how non-bored I am after all these years. It's just an absolute blast to get in there with all those animals. They really have personalities. You're going to have interactions with animals in that tank that are much different than you would if you were scuba diving, let's say, in the Caribbean in the wild. We have a almost 600-pound green sea turtle named Myrtle that will follow you around like a puppy dog. We have fish that actually like their backs scratched. It's true. The sharks are spectacular. The moray eels are a lot of fun. It's just there's never really a dull moment, and I think that that's pretty much goes for the penguin exhibit too. The personalities down there are hysterical. They say penguins mate for life, but I've seen some pretty sketchy situations going on down there. So there's always a lot of laugh, a lot of teamwork, and that's definitely something that we're looking for, is folks that are very comfortable working in a team environment, but also people that are go-getters and feel really confident that, let's say we have a day that there are no volunteers, and talk about not stopping for a second and really being able to take control of a situation, because you never know exactly how things are going to play out when you work in this kind of environment. You could come in and have a set schedule planned, but there's a sick shark, or there's a sea turtle with an injury, and so there's always these wrenches being thrown in, and you're always changing hats. And so we're looking for people that are really comfortable in that kind of environment. And if you are that type of person, you will thrive there. And if you are not that type of person but would like to be, you can learn there. And that's, again, something great to be able to put on a resume, that you were able to work in that kind of challenging, changing environment. That's basically it in a nutshell. Like I said, it's diving all day. It's 5 dives a day. Most of the dives are feeding dives. There's 1 or 2 maintenance dives also, which we like the co-op students to participate in, but we do have a volunteer dive team that does a lot of the cleaning. The co-op student, the other opportunity that's really great too, is the opportunity to supervise our team of volunteers. That's pretty much the co-op's job. The co-op basically makes sure that everything happens throughout the day, that all 5 dives happen, that folks are out on the dive platform on time, that platform feedings are being managed by the volunteers, the food prep is made in the morning, the food prep room is clean, that the laundry keeps rolling all day. The co-op student can depend on volunteers to assist with all these tasks, but they're responsible to make sure that all of this stuff is happening. And that's a great opportunity for co-op students to have this early on in your careers, your academic career or professional career, to have that kind of supervisory experience.